Right, on with the electrics today. So I've got the DC to AC to change inverter. This is the old one. I think it's broken. However, I'll take it out and test it. But I have got my new one, as you have seen before. And I've got the gubbins in here. So we've got two leisure batteries. One's brand new. That's the solar panel. Battery's flashing because I've disconnected the cable, so it's not charging. There is, don't know what that's for. I think that's a split charge. Yeah, that'll be the split charge system, which I'm going to replace with the one that I've got. So it's just a case of disconnecting everything at the moment, seeing what I've got, where all the wires are going to where. So I've got a bit of a map in my mind of what's what, because I'm going in blind here, and then start from scratch. I'll just build a schematic so I know exactly what fuses I need, what cabling I need, etc. Because I've got a bit of wiring to do at the front end as well for the vehicle battery. Yeah, so once it's all fitted together, it'll be spot on, but it's just getting there. Dilly dilly. Right, so getting there. I've removed now the alternator, removed one of the batteries. The other battery is at the back there. It was okay putting another battery in. I think originally it had the one. The other one, I think that previous owner just plonked in here, because there's no securing strap for it or anything. So it was originally designed just as a one battery setup. However, a couple of things wrong with this installation. First of all, he didn't have the batteries connected in series, i.e. connecting the two batteries together to still give 12 volts, but from two batteries, which basically increases your amperage. So that was a little bit strange. You wouldn't just have two batteries and have them separately connected. It's just a bit bizarre. The other thing is, this cable here is the one that goes back through the car to back through the van to the battery in the engine bay that starts the van. That is directly connected to there, with the lead coming off there, which is here. Now, before I say where this connected, you can also see it's basically half the size of what it should be. So, you know, it's probably a 8 gauge cable, that, and he's reduced it down to about 4, or maybe it's less, to get it into there, which is the old split charge system. So that wasn't good. There was also a positive and negative wire touching each other. So this one here, that was kind of, again, just wrapped up half of it so it would fit in. Put a bit of tape on, but that tape still touched this one, which I've taped up now, but so it was arcing. That wasn't good either. So yeah, I'm at pretty much a good start point now. I can get this battery put in, connected up in series, and then I'll have one positive, one negative. I'll take the battery cable that goes to the alternator off. This is the new system I'm installing. So this is the charger and splitter, which is, you know, replacing that piece of crap. So yeah, so basically this will allow me to put in the solar, auxiliary battery, alternator, and then what this system does is, whenever it's taking power from the solar, it will always charge the van battery first for starting the engine. Once that's fully charged, it'll then switch over to start charging which will now be the bank of two leisure batteries. Subsequently, when you start the car and you're running off alternator, it will also charge again the main battery first, and then the leisure batteries through the alternator, as well as the solar. So that's basically what that does. Happy days. Yeah, so I've got to get that installed. Also got as well, which you've seen before, The quite substantive 3000 watt pure sine wave inverter there. Yeah, so yeah, look forward to getting that installed. Anyway, back to this. Do a bit of wiring and get back to you, dilly. Okay, so what I also noticed is this is an AGM battery, so it's a gel, like a gel mat. This one is a lead acid battery. I'm guessing that's why I didn't join it in series, because you shouldn't join a gel battery to a lead acid battery. They have different kind of charge and discharge rates, so it'll just destroy both batteries eventually in short order. To that end, I could buy another AGM battery, quite expensive, and join them in series. For the amount of time I'll use the kind of off-grid power, I think I'll get away with just one battery. I mean, it's a Class A leisure battery, that. So it's for, you know, frequent off-grid use. So it's got a good capacity on it. I mean, hey, I can try it, see, you know, for how long it lasts, you know, when I've got a TV on or anything else. And, you know, if it discharges too quickly for my use, then I'll just bite the bullet and buy another. But I think there's no point in going to the expense at this point. I'll do the try and testing with one battery. Right, I can now start and work out what fuses I'm going to need and see what I've got. I may need to order some, so I might not get the install done today, but we'll see. At least I'll have an idea of what I need and get everything ordered. I can probably route all the wires and cabling in preparation for just waiting for the fuses to come, and then it'll just be a simple connection when I'm ready. Alright then, catch you later, dilly. Right, so the electrical install is nearly complete. I've got the charge system sorted now. The only thing I need, or I'm waiting delivery for, is a 400 amp inline fuse, similar to this, which will power the inverter. So I'll show you what I've done. So I've got a 80 amp fuse here, which is protecting the cable from the battery back to the back of the van. So that basically running alternator current into the charger, which we can see at the back there. So we can see it flashing away there. So on the right hand side, far right, that's green, showing that the battery is connected correctly, and it's green light for AGM battery. There's a button on the side you press for different colour lights, so it knows what type of battery it's charging, so we can alter the charge rate. To the left hand side is the battery status, so it's green, so it's fully charged at the moment. To the left hand side of that, the flashing red light is showing that it is drawn power from the solar panel on top of the roof. To the left of that, which isn't illuminated, that's the alternator power. So when I start the engine, it will charge the battery from the alternator. You can see it just lit up there briefly. It's just showing that it is connected to the alternator. It's just in a standby state at the moment. So I've reduced down to one battery now, as we can see. I've also got a further 80 amp fuse on this side, which protects the leisure battery. There's another fuse to get. You may see two unterminated cables there, so they're ready to connect via a 400 amp fuse, and that'll be for the 3000 watt inverter, which will give me 240 volt. Now 3000 watts, that's peak power, so I'm looking at about, I don't know, maybe 2,500 watts continuous power, which, you know, it'll easy power like an air fryer, for instance, a Ninja air fryer. So yeah, plenty of power there. Yeah, certainly TV as well. And again, however, depends how long the battery lasts. Using the TV, etc., as to whether I'll need to then introduce a secondary leisure battery. But yeah, time will tell on that one. I've also got the option here at the top of this where I can plug in a 240 volt supply either from a generator or indeed from shore power. So basically hook up. That just means the shore power will go through the inverter and power the plug sockets in the van, so I don't need a separate feed for that, which is quite handy. Yeah, so that is the install. As I said, just waiting for that 400 amp fuse now. It's meant to be here today, so happy days, I'll get that fitted and then that'll be the inverter working. I'll do another video now of some little additional extras that I've got for this setup. Dilly dilly. Okay, so some of the extras I got. So for the inverter itself, obviously when you're not using the inverter, you need to switch it off because it will draw power still. So again, this will preserve more the power within the leisure battery itself. So normally you would do a cutout of this. I was thinking of putting it there next to that, but then the table would be in the way. Yeah, I could maybe just put it up here, in there, wherever. However, because this was an expensive setup and I don't plan on keeping this particular van, I'm going to keep the old system, yeah, which worked kind of fine, albeit the inverter was knackered. However, when I come to sell the van, I'll just put the old system back on, so it's still charging a leisure battery, just maybe it's not having an inverter. So all I'm going to do is just screw that onto the door there and just make sure the screws don't come through onto the face side here. So that'll basically just be temporarily in place to switch on and off the inverter for 240. The other extra I've got, this is for the charge system, the split charge. So this is a Bluetooth signal. So that's connected up to that system. So I don't know, I might just put it up there, just somewhere kind of unsure, but out the way, hide the wiring, and just tack that into there. It's very light, so I could just even put some Velcro on that, and it'll probably stick on there nicely. So what the Bluetooth does is allows me to use the app, and the app will show me the state of both leisure battery and starting battery, and the condition of the batteries and what is charging what, etc. Yeah, so good bit of functionality on an app there on the phone rather than having another sort of, you know, info panel or LCD panel to cut out and stick on the van itself. So good that it just comes as a Bluetooth with an app. So that's the additional extras. I can crack on now and I'll download the app, get that put in position, and then, as I say, I'm just waiting for that 400 amp fuse. The other thing I'm going to have to do is obviously put in some plug sockets. So again, I might have a single one over here because that's probably where I'll mount a TV, small TV on a bracket. Get a smart one so I can use me, well, yeah, just get digital channels in, and also I can use my Fire Stick as well. Yeah, and probably a double socket on here, as I say, for an air fryer or, you know, any other electrical equipment I may need, and they'll get plugged into the inverter, and that'll be that. Right, happy days, happy so far, dilly dilly. Right, don't know who drank that. Anyway, yeah, so I fitted me my Bluetooth. As you can see, I've hid the wires. I've done you a screenshot of the information it gives us. There is some other parameters within there, but I just screenshot the main page, showing us the rate of charge, etc., and the condition of each battery. So yeah, quite handy. What else? I did put on the Going on this side. Yeah, so I've got the inverter on off screwed in there, as I said, temporarily. Yeah, tidied all the cables up, put the wastewater back in there. So that's that one. So all together, yeah, good install. Just got the plug sockets to put in now. Yeah, for the inverter. Yeah, I'll probably put them there a bit close to the sink, like, but not going to splash out much water, hopefully. And the inverter will be switched off anyway. Yeah, so plug socket there. To complete the install. Again, still waiting for this 400 amp fuse, but I doubt it's going to come today now. Might be a job for tomorrow. Right, have a good evening, dilly dilly. Well, it's ECU time today. It's going to get remapped. Unfortunately, I've got to take the ECU out. They can't do it through the OBD port. So I had to remove the battery tray, then take off this plastic cover, which then revealed the ECU, which sat in here. So you can probably get there. I've disconnected the two ECU cables. The other one's about somewhere. And here it is. And then undone a grub screw and then withdrew the ECU. A little bit fidgety and awkward, but here she is. So basically the tuner, the diagnostic bloke, will plug that in on his bench and do his magic with the computer, and then I'll be able to put this back in, and then hopefully I'll be up to around about 116 brake horsepower, which is kind of safe limits for the turbo that's fitted on this. So yeah, a good increase from 85, so I should be able to get up a hill, no bother, dilly dilly. Well, the ECU's back on, and then connect it back together, start the engine. Just about to take it for its first little test drive. Get some food while I'm out too. Yeah, so I mean, it just does seem, even just on acceleration there, static without load seems a lot better acceleration. Yeah, seems a lot more free revving. Right, let's put it under load, take it for a spin, see what happens, dilly dilly.